Okay, welcome back to our tutorial series. Today we're going to get a little specific about a topic. I created this start menu edition for Pokemon Emerald Slide, and I figured I might as well do a tutorial on it since some people might want to know how to add an option to the start menu. So I added a teleport option to the start menu so that when you click on the start menu, you can teleport to your last heal location. It just takes over the code from whiting out, but it basically just stops you from being able to soft lock in Pokemon Emerald Slide, which is obviously a large concern considering you're going all around in random directions. So anyway, I wanted to go over how I added that in. So I have my project pulled up, and this is the main file where most of the stuff is in, startmenu.c. It's in source startmenu.c, and I'm going to go through the changes that I've made to the file. So to start with here, I have this extern U8 teleport menu. This is just it's a variable that the engine, declares everywhere that I can use, and basically I set to it here in this script. This is a script that I wrote. It's just a .inc script. I just wrote it in data to scripts, and I created this file. It's just a .inc file. You can write scripts not just for your map scripts, but you can write all sorts of scripts in the game. The game in this scripts folder has a lot of different scripts. You can see here it's got a bunch of scripts. So here is just this basic teleport menu, and it just has a yes no box, and it just asks us if we want to teleport or not. If we want to teleport, then it calls this special that is the whiteout special, and that just whites us out. If we look here, this is some of the code that's actually called during the whiteout. I have set money commented out because I don't want you to lose money when you teleport. And it also will, have the effect of making the normal whiteout not lose your money too. But that's not a problem for my hack because the challenge is obviously in the puzzle of getting everywhere. So in fact, I think that's better. But anyway, so we just run this special. If you choose yes and no, we just let go, and it takes you back to the the overworld. Out of the start menu. So we have this extern here that basically just lets us access this teleport menu script. Now you don't actually have to do it as a script, but I'm kind of combining the script and the the C code together because I was testing out some other things as well. But you could just call the whiteout script. You could add the callback directly from the C code, and you don't need to interact with the scripts at all. But if you do interact with the script and you add one here, you have to add it to the eventscripts.s file in data eventscripts.s. You've got to add an include statement, .include data script teleport menu.inc, and you just got to add it to the bottom. It's a very long script, a very long file. But anyway, so we are in startmenu.c. We have added a item for our teleport menu script. Now here is an enum that stores all of the actions for the menu. It's got the Pokedex, the Pokemon bag, Pokenav, player, save, option, exit, and then these are the other ones for the special types of menu: retire, player link, rest frontier, retire frontier, pyramid bag, and we need to add our own menu action teleport. So we are adding menu action teleport. We also need to make sure that we add menu action teleport to the define list. We'll let that search. So we're going to add this to here, and then we're going to move on to our next one. So this is going to be the main function that is handling our code. We are going to just copy one of these and then just name it our own: start menu, whatever the name is, callback. And this callback function is what's going to handle the code. It's what's going to actually be ran when you click on the option in the start menu. So we just need to give it a name there. And then we scroll down a bit more, and this is the actual menu item struct that holds all the actions, the menu actions. And it holds a whole list of them. So here we have, the Pokedex, the Pokemon, the bag, and these text are, we actually have to edit the text. We have to, in strings.h, we have to create a variable for them, which is going to look like this, but then it's going to have a colon on the end. I don't have that file open, but it's not that important. In strings.h, you have to create this create a text label, and then here we have to assign it a value, just like we do every other text in the game. You can take over an existing one if you want. It's not a problem. So here we are just going to give it this label gtext menu teleport, which is just a teleport, and then we are going to give it this callback function, which is going to assign the function to it so that when we click on it, it is the function that runs. So we are going to keep on going. And here we are actually going to be adding the menu action teleport to the list. So this is the function build normal start menu. For the normal start menu, not the Safari start menu or anything. This is the Safari Zone start menu, but for the normal start menu, if we have flag sys Pokemon get is equal to true, then when you build the start menu, you have a Pokedex. If you have gotten Pokemon, then you have the Pokemon option. We've set these in our code before in our PoriScript videos. You will probably remember them. Flag get, Pokenav get, same thing. We haven't gone over that one, but obviously once the flag is set, then you can see it. It's added to your start menu. Now we don't need a flag for this, so we just like the bag doesn't need a flag, so we're just going to add it directly. Add start menu action, and then the name of the menu action that we have added, that we have created in this enum here. Which I guess is the only place that we named it. I thought there was a define for it, but it's just in the enum. So anyway, as we continue on our changes, we're going to scroll down a bit more. And here, this is the main function that handles the input for the start menu. So as you see here, this is if the input is a D-pad up, then you move the cursor up one. If it's D-pad down, then you move the cursor down one. And if you select A, then this is where we're going to handle, calling our function. But we, technically, and here's the start menu B button. This is going to hide the start menu. It's going to back out. So here, this is if we press the A button, we're going to play a sound effect select. If the start menu, current start menu action, start menu current position, cursor position, function void is equal to the Pokédex callback, and if the national dex Pokédex callback is equal to 0, then we're going to return false. And that's basically going to tell it that you can, exit out. You can call the function. Otherwise, we keep going. G menu callback, start menu. We're just setting this G menu callback variable that is being held elsewhere. It's being called elsewhere. We're setting it to the function, the callback function that we create. So here we're going to test then to see what the callback is. So otherwise we are setting this callback function. This is going to exit us out, but otherwise we're setting the callback. And if it's a save, an exit, a Safari Zone retire, a retire, or in our case a teleport, because we want to leave when it's a teleport, we are going to we're going to fade screen from black, and then we are going to return false. And that's going to be all that we need to do there. We just need to add our callback here to that list. And then as we continue going, we are going to actually create our callback. So I just copied this one and I pasted it down here. You can copy any of them, but ours is going to look pretty close to that one. So here we start menu teleport callback. This has got to be the same name as the one we defined at the very top. It's the same function. And then here we remove extra start menu windows, which gets rid of the start menu. We hide the start menu, which again gets rid of the start menu. And then we call this function script context1 setup script, and it allows us to use scripts that we have defined in our code. And we gave an extern for it so that we can actually access the teleport menu, because we don't have that extern, it won't know where to look for it. And then we are going to, it's just going to call that script. So then it's going to jump to this, it's going to jump to here for the control flow of the program, and it's going to keep going depending on that. It's going to, return true afterwards, and that's all there really is to it. So we, you need to make sure to define your constants, define your enum menu action, give it a callback, give it a menu action callback. Then you need to add that callback to the list of items, and once you've added it to the list, then you can add it to the normal start menu as an item to be added, then you can make sure to check for it and handle it accordingly depending on the type of callback that it is. If it isn't one of these that are exiting, you don't really need to add anything here at all. You could just skip it because it will still save the callback and it'll return and run the callback function. So, from there we of course just the last thing we do is then actually run the script menu code in the callback function that we have to create. So that is all there is. Well, not all there is to adding start menu options. There's of course a ton more. If you're not doing this specific, teleport menu that's teleporting, your code here is going to be very different, but you could put any code here you wanted, any script here, or inside of, inside of the C, you can put any C code inside of here. So instead of this, you could put any code you want. There's a bunch of show trainer card and link. That's that one. Here is clean up overall Windows map tire. This is the menu option. You can change the C code if you want to, or you can call your scripts, and you can run a script, and it can be a complicated script. It can be whatever you want it to be. You can have a whole multi-choice list that has your debug menu stuff if you want. You can do anything from there if you want to. Another option, while I'm on the topic of start menu things, if you have seen Ryu's debug menu, there is, it uses the start menu, but instead of adding it actually to the start menu, what he does is he uses a new if statement with the join new macro that handles input, and he checks for if the button is the select button, and if it's the select button, then basically he does this right here. So he removes the start menu, he hides the start menu, and then he calls his debug menu directly from the code, and then he returns true. But he calls the debug menu in between here, and anytime you press the start menu anytime you press select while in the start menu, it'll run your code. It'll run your script that you have, which can be pretty useful. You can set up pretty complicated stuff. He uses it he has a whole list of teleports of, you can give you all the items, HMs, everything in the game through the debug menu, Pokemon, set all the flags that you need for, plot devices to test things, all of his extra features, everything like that is all done and handled through the debug menu, and you call it through the start menu. And you can get creative with the types of things that you can add in your UIs like this. But anyway, the video's gone on a little long, so I'm going to end it there. If you want to add things into your start menu, this is obviously where you get started, startmenu.c. If you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment here or in the Discord. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one.